Good evening, Flyers fans, and welcome to the Clear the Ice, a Flyers post-game show here on the Edge Philly Sports. Tonight, your boy Matty B on the call. Flyers fall tonight 4-1 to the Carolina Hurricanes down there at the center. I believe this is their third time they played the Hurricanes so far this year, and this is also the second time they've lost. In a game that was, one of those many games that the Flyers just couldn't seem to get things going in any kind of direction. Pretty much trailing from the start. They did at one point pull the 1-1, but the Hurricanes almost using that cat and mouse kind of analogy, just playing with the Flyers as they would eventually pull away in this game. 2-1, 3-1, and then a late empty netter to seal things up for them. 4-1 winners down there at the Wells Fargo Center, dropping the Flyers now on the season to 11, 10, and 1, and ending the some of the good feelings that the Flyers were getting out of the Islander game the other night. But yeah, I mean, this is a game against about a team, the Flyers, who did not have enough horses against another team like the Hurricanes. Two teams heading in obviously two different directions. And tonight, the Flyers had played the Hurricanes pretty tight and pretty tough throughout the first couple meetings this season, but that was not the case tonight, as you just could see this game kind of just the Flyers wilting as the game wore on. Travis Konecny, the lone goal scorer tonight for the Flyers, his 12th of the year, as he continues to assert himself as potentially a centerpiece of the Flyers of the future. Carter Hart, shaky. Is that the word you want to use for him tonight? A shaky appearance for him, as he was not really. He was tested more tonight than the teams normally test him. He faced 36 shots, which is not a normal thing for the Flyers. They've been limiting their opponents to less than 27 a game on average, but he was tested 36 times tonight and really did not come up to test, as he gave up the 3 goals in this hockey game. Could have been 4 if it hadn't been for a fluky inside of the post run right across the goal line and then to the end board shot there by the Hurricanes. But there you have 4-1 in a game tonight, as I said, between two teams kind of heading in two different directions. For the Hurricanes, Michael Bunting, he had a goal and assist. Big night for him. Seth Jarvis and Brendan Lemieux. That's right, folks. Brendan Lemieux. You remember that name? You should, because he had a cup of coffee here with the Flyers last season. He was part of the Zach McEwen trade deadline deal last year. We got Brendan from the Kings in exchange for Zach McEwen, as he played out the string for the Flyers at the regular season. And then he was not re-signed and obviously signed with the Hurricanes. And tonight he comes back and he haunts Flyers on a little nifty goal, a little wraparound, going into his knees in traffic goal for Brendan Lemieux earlier in this game. And Sebastian Aho had 2 assists for the Hurricanes as well. And as I mentioned, Konecny, the lone goal scorer for the Flyers. Lemieux, actually, his goal was the goal that put the Hurricanes up 2-1. As I mentioned, a really nifty little goal. And then Jarvis would get them back up to 3-1 with 3:26 left to go in the game. That was obviously the backbreaker one, as the game would come to an end. The Flyers would then give up the shorthanded, but the open netter to make it 4-1, and that was final. That was the end. Obviously, the news coming into this game for the Flyers, if you're a Flyers fan, is the Noah Cates is going to be gone for at least 6 to 8 weeks. That's right, Noah Cates out for 6 to 8 weeks as he's dealing with the injury. So now I guess the Morgan Frost situation has pretty much been settled. He's going to have to play now, as he'll become a permanent member of the lineup, I would imagine, until at least Noah Cates get back. So if you can look at this as a positive for the Flyers in some sort of way, you're finally maybe going to get an opportunity to see what Morgan Frost has to offer. But it's a hefty price to pay, as Noah Cates, who's been one of the more sturdier young performers for this team, is going to be missing some extended time. Let's head over to the box score, shall we? As I mentioned, the Flyers were outshot tonight, 36 by the Hurricanes to their only 29. The Flyers were 0 for 2 on the power play. We're going to get into the season numbers on that because it's going to be astonishing. But they also killed 2 power plays killed 2 Hurricane power plays. So the PK continues to operate well. Flyers gave the puck away twice, and they took it away 6 times. So that is some of your numbers on the night. I mentioned some of the some of the play-by-play or some of the highlights of this thing within when it comes to the goal scoring. As for Carter Hart, it is what it is. He faced 35 shots, he gave up 32. Faced 35, saved 32, gave up 3 goals, 914% save percentage on the night. Just to me, really didn't look that sturdy. I mean, the Hurricanes were coming at him pretty good, but it was just one of those blah games, man. One of those games where the Flyers didn't seem that they were up for. Now, of course, yesterday the Flyers were supposed to have practice, but at the last minute, Tortorella called practice off, saying, you know what, the team's been kind of under stress a lot lately. They're tired. I'm going to give them an extra day. The Flyer players swore up and down that they'd be ready to play tonight, but it sure did not look like that to me, as this team was kind of caught in neutral. And again, if the Flyers don't come out on their A game, I mean, every ounce of energy they have, every ounce of ability, every ounce of work ethic that they have on a night-to-night basis, they're just not going to be able to skate with most teams in the league, and you're not going to be able to mail it in. A team like the Flyers cannot mail it in against a team like the Hurricanes, and they're going to pay, and they pay tonight to a tune of 4-1 defeat. On the season, some of the numbers, the Flyers have now scored 65 goals, which averages out to about 3 a game. They've given up 62, which is still less than 3. 2.8. They've registered 706 shots for 32, and they've given up 600 for 27. So they're still outshooting their opponent on the average. That's why tonight's 36-29 outburst by the Hurricanes is a little concerning to me, because I don't want to see that. The Flyers have been pretty much handling that all season long. On the giveaway or takeaway giveaway side, Flyers are now 138 takeaways for about 6.3 and 137 giveaways, which was 6.3. So kind of evening out on that category. For the season on the power play, 7 for 71 now. 7 for 71. You did not hear that in I know if you guys are at home doing the fuzzy math, that sounds like it's less than 10%. Well, it is 9.9. It is not the lowest it has been this season. You remember just a few weeks ago, it was down in the 7s. So we surged up into those double digits with that outpouring of power play goals a few weeks ago, but now we're back down to less than 10%. On the PK, though, the Flyers have killed 58 penalties for 69 times shorthanded, 84%. So at least that is a positive stat that the Flyers can continue to build off of as they progress through this season. And tomorrow or Thursday, they'll be back at action at home against the New Jersey Devils as they look to get once again, continue to try to get some positivity going. They are still currently 1 game over 500, which is a very good thing, but not a good night tonight. Just one of those real, cookie dough games that you've seen the Flyers play, that they seem to be stuck in cookie dough. They can't seem to get any kind of momentum going. That was definitely the case tonight at the Wells Fargo Center. So Flyers lose 4-1 in a uninspiring, drecky kind of game for them. But here's the Edge of Philly Sports lineup for the week. Make sure you're tuned in. We got you covered all week long for everything you can imagine, and more as we gear up here on the network for what we call, or what they're calling, is rivalry week, as the Flyers, Sixers, and the Eagles are all going to be engaged in rivalry type situations. So make sure you're tuned in and enjoying your time here on the network. And make sure you're also checking in with Philly Sports Trips, everything they have to offer for the Philly spring training. 3 separate trips heading down the Clearwater, as you can see. Dolan's Bar and Grill and 24 East Sellers Ave in Ridley Park for Quizzo music, great times, memorabilia, and giveaways. You never know who might walk through the front door. Sherry's Tickets, great prices, no hidden fees. www.sherrysticket.com or save additional 10% when you enter the promo code EOP10. And for workman's comp, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law, Dave Cherry's the man to call, 610-565-0300. Folks, it's going to wrap me up. Not much to talk about here. I'm not going to belabor the point. There was really nothing positive to pull from this game. I could sit here for an hour talking about some things, but it really is not going to get us anywhere. The Flyers are what they are. They're a 500 hockey club, 4-1 losers tonight. Brendan Lemieux kind of comes back and haunts the Flyers. Former Flyer Brendan Lemieux, as he gets a goal, as he was part of the Hurricanes scoring barrage tonight, as they were able to handle the Flyers pretty easily, 4-1, and now send the Flyers down to that 11-10-1 on the season. Travis Konechny, the lone goal for the Flyers, as he had nifty breakaway goal, kind of cherry picking a little bit, but I'll take it. Tyson Forrester got the assist on that goal, his 4th of the season. So Until we talk again, folks, I believe it's going to be Pat on the call on Thursday night. In the immortal words of Mr. Gene Hart, have a good night, not have, but good night and good hockey.